Just play the damn thing.
Okay, so there's a video going around out there on the YouTubes about signature guitars and signature gear in general, and I watched it and I got to thinking. Okay, well, first I got to thinking about what in the hell I just watched because the video had no point and accomplished nothing. But that's beside the point. But regardless, it gave me the idea and the inspiration to produce this video and share with you my 6 reasons why you should buy signature gear. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Number 1, by God, support your fellow artists. It's tough out there, folks. I've talked about this before. Signature gear serves a very, very specific purpose for the artist whose name is on said gear that you might be purchasing. If you're not aware how this works, part of the idea of a signature piece of gear is the artist whose name is on that particular piece of gear receives a commission from the actual sales. A practice that I personally have absolutely no issues with whatsoever because, as I mentioned, it's tough out there. And musicians, even pro-level musicians, even famous musicians who we follow regularly, have to come up with multiple revenue streams because, trust me, they ain't earning much, if anything, from producing records. The same is true here on YouTube. As creators on YouTube, we have to be able to find multiple revenue streams because ad revenue by itself ain't cutting it. Personally, I see my ad revenue from this channel declining more and more all the time. Which, on that note, if you do really want to support this channel, all them their affiliate links down in the description, that's a real good way to do so. Even if you go to Amazon to buy like a lunchbox or something, if you use my link to get there, it's really a big help. So support your fellow artists. If you want them to keep doing what they're doing and keep producing music and keep doing the things that you like to see them do, buy their signature gear because it helps them out. Number 2, specific features. A lot of signature gear has very specific features that you cannot get on its non-signature counterparts, or in a lot of cases, any other piece of gear. Take my trusty Music Man John Petrucci Signature Majesty guitar. What makes this guitar unique? There's a lot of things that make this guitar unique from many others out there, but in particular, one of my favorite features on this guitar, one of my favorite unique features on this guitar is the piezo pickup. The piezo pickup, and this is the best piezo pickup of any electric guitar I have ever heard, and this thing legitimately, to my ear, sounds like a really, really good high-end acoustic guitar. Feel free to prove me wrong. While piezo pickups in electric guitars are kind of hard to come by anyway, I've yet to find another one that's anywhere near as good as the one that came in this guy. So if you want specific features, even if you don't care much for the person whose name is on it, it may have some features on that particular piece of gear that you can't get anywhere else all that easily. Number 3, signature models generally aren't that much more expensive than the non-signature version. Look, take a look at the old MXR Phase 90. That pedal's been around forever. What's that cost nowadays? Just the standard run-of-the-mill, production model Phase 90 is what, $100 or so nowadays? To get the Eddie Van Halen version, the EVH 90 they call it, it's what, another $30? So what? Another $30, you get another extra feature, and you support one of your favorite artists. Even if you don't like Eddie Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen contributed a lot to what you are doing right now, whether you want to admit it or not. Which is another good reason to buy it. But hey, if you don't have an extra 30, 40, 50 bucks for a signature pedal, or an extra 100, 200 bucks for a signature guitar, I don't know what to tell you. Get a job. I'm not your dad. It ain't that much more money. Number 4, look, squirrels. Number 5, they're worth a lot more when the dude dies. You don't believe me? Look at all the Eddie Van Halen signature gear a few years ago that skyrocketed when people started price gouging because, unfortunately, Eddie is no longer with us. Same thing happened to Dimebag gear, unfortunately. Once upon a time, I bought this guitar here brand new for $250. What is it? This is a Washburn Dimebag Darrell Signature 332, which is basically Washburn's, for all intents and purposes, it was an inexpensive Chinese-made production model with a bolt-on neck version of the Dean ML that Dimebag was known for playing. There was a period there in the middle of his career when he had switched, when Dean was no longer producing guitars, no longer, I don't know what that is, but he went to Washburn briefly. And this was part of that particular signature run. Here about 6 months ago, I sold that guitar for about $800. Dumbass. So if you buy enough signature gear and you're patient with it, you can make a lot of money on it. Because chances are, there's going to be somebody out there that worships the dude a lot more than you do. And is willing to pay for it. Number 6. I'm going to take a wild stab at this. But I'm willing to bet that if you're watching this video, Gibson and Fender and Ibanez and Schecter and Martin and Taylor and all the other big name guitar brands out there, not a single one of them are exactly beating down your door to collaborate with you to create your own signature guitar in their product line. Right? Didn't think so. So, if that is the case, and again, I'm willing to bet that it is, you might as well buy somebody else's signature gear and support them. Right? So, in other words, if nobody wants to be you, you can pretend to be somebody else and get a cool piece of gear while you're at it. Think about it. How many Stevie Ray Vaughan fanboys have you seen build their own Strat, beat the shit out of it, and call it relict, and then get those mailbox stickers and put their own initials on it, just like SRV did. A million of those out there, right? Well, you know what? If you spent the same money on the actual Fender SRV signature model, you probably have a lot better guitar. Just saying. So there you go. That's why you should buy signature gear as Robert sees it. So come on, get out there, support your fellow artists, make you feel better about your own selves, and ask for somebody else's gear for Christmas this year. Adios.